All right, all right, all right. Hey, everybody, this is Houston Vines. I am here with Ursula Banks of Keeping It 100. I'm going to let her take over the show. I
Hey,
just wanted to bring us all in. We have an interesting crew for tonight.
yes.
What's going on, Miss
Hey,
Lady?
hey, everybody. Y'all welcome to Keep It at 100. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Of course, our co-host tonight, we got Miss Courtney from Keeping It Connected. Hey,
Hey,
Courtney.
hey.
As always, we got our producer, Mr. Houston Vines, with Incite-tv. I
And I'll introduce while she's trying to come back in. We've got Hollywood in the building.
Hey,
What's going on with you? And we've
not
got
much.
another special guest for tonight. He is from Greenville, North Carolina. Lamont is in the building. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, Lamont. My bad. My bad, just in case you had a stalker.
Well, oh well, you know how that goes.
No doubt, no doubt. How's everybody doing? Ursula's having some technical difficulties over there, so she's getting some things together.
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Everybody doing pretty good?
Yeah.
All right, all right. While we're waiting for Ursula to come back in, I will take over for a few minutes. Um, like she was just talking about, hey, we have Courtney of Keeping It Connected, has her own podcast, which is growing, coming right along. We also got Anthony Hollywood, who is the creator of the Velvet Room, Conversation in the Velvet Room. You know, a variety of different things that he does over there. Talks about relationships and a few other things as well. And you know what, Hollywood, you didn't have to say anything, but you know what? Something that I missed. I know you're gonna bring it back on your show.
Uh-huh.
When you used to have the newspaper, and my man would open a newspaper and talk about
Yes.
current events.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You, yeah, I enjoyed it when he did that.
Yeah. That was yeah. You're right. That
I,
was pretty
I
nice.
enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. Let's see what she said. You are zoomed in on 1,000. It'll look like you're busting through the screen. Oh, okay. Oh, shoot to my like I'm busting through the screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
you like you're right there.
Well, y'all should have told me that. You could have
Look,
told me
no,
that for the
I was
show.
trying to make sure I was good. I was like, wait a minute, something ain't right.
How
We
about
thought
now?
that was the look you were going for.
There you go.
Where I was testing out because this camera I have can zoom in a little bit, so I was just trying to see, but I didn't realize I was at. Look, I didn't know I had you in my eyeball.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you were a lot of bit zoomed in.
Okay, that works a little bit better this way. Okay, Ursula might be trying to come back in a little bit. Oh, that was you, Courtney, telling me that. Oh, I thought it was Ursula.
No, that was me.
My bad. Good. I appreciate it. So one thing I did want to mention, like I said, I was talking about Hollywood and some of the things that he's doing, but I cannot leave Lamont Black out as well because Lamont, tell us a bit about what you do. I know you do some photography and there's a couple of other things that you do as well, right?
Well, I do a little computer stuff, networking, desktop support,
There
pretty
you go.
much computer stuff. I have a bit of a knowledge and a little bit of my hand, a little bit of everything. So,
Okay.
and if I don't know it, I know somebody who I can point you to.
You know
Um,
that has been my whole life. Is I might not know it, the information, but I know how to point you in the right direction.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize. They think that as a computer technician, we know it all. But then we tell them, "Well, hold on, let me make a call, or let me Google this." What? Or
Mm,
I don't work with that. Oh, I don't know that. Well, application support people don't get is different than removing a virus from a machine. That no, I can't tell you how to format that document in Word or whatever. Best thing I can tell you is go to YouTube and they'll show you how to do it.
right.
But I can get the software installed for you and go from there. As far as plugging in this formula, that formula, no, that's not my forte. But I can get the software, get the machine running good like you need it. And
Gotcha.
that's one of the things a lot of people don't think about, that there's different levels of IT. It's not just, oh well, you one of the computer people. No, there's people that are application support that can't tell you the first thing about how to fix your machine if something's wrong with it or if it's not doing, people don't realize it's specialized. And that's
Gotcha.
the thing that a lot of people don't see.
Well, you know what, Anthony, you kind of in that same field too, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Mhm.
That's what I thought. That you're in the same category, same field. All
Yeah.
right, all right. So let me slap Ursula back in here.
y'all
There you
kicked
go.
me out.
Now, see, I was about to say something. No hands will own anything. Something's wrong with your stuff. You
Say,
got
don't do
two.
that.
Look, you got two IT people in here. We got to figure out your application. Figure out your
I,
application.
I'm not sure what happened. I was just talking. Everybody just started to stop moving. I was like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, she froze up on you. That's exactly what it was.
So
So
basically, we need to walk her through. Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
I
that's the
did.
first step. There you go. That's the first step.
Yep, that's always the first step.
And you know what? Now that you said that, don't people get mad with you when you ask that question?
They do.
Yes,
Cause
they
Now
you like,
do.
I'm not IT, but in my family, I'm considered IT.
yeah.
And I tell anybody if something was working for you and all of a sudden it stopped working, turn it off and turn it back on.
Look, the same way I told someone because I've done some computer work before in the past too, and I told him I said, look, when I say that, I'm not saying I'm not judging you in any way. I'm just saying let's do that first because
Mm-hmm.
that kind of helps us kind of reboot. Same way, if
Reset.
your car cut off, you're not just gonna sit there. I think you're gonna turn the ignition again and try it again.
Couple times, see
You're
what
gonna
you're
try
gonna
it a
do.
couple times. So, all
Yeah, and
right,
on that note, they
yeah.
don't realize that if you had an update come down, sometimes it's an update. You got an update waiting to be processed. So that's
Yeah.
why that software is not working. And doing that shutdown, and not a restart, but a shutdown, I tell people. A
Mhm.
shutdown is what you want to do to clear out memory, whereas a restart, it doesn't give memory a chance to clear.
So shutdown is what? Just pushing the power button off and waiting, or unplugging it for a few minutes. What's the shutdown?
Well, going to your start button and then powering it off the right way. The only time you should hit the power button straight is if your machine's locked up and you don't have a choice. Because people don't realize that every time you have a power outage, if you have a desktop, laptops, you don't too much have to worry about that. But typically, if a machine goes down hard, you can corrupt something. So you always want to shut it down by going to
Mm-hmm.
start and then shut down and not just hit the power button because it's acting funny, unless you have
That
no choice.
yeah, that's
Okay,
only when everything's frozen. You can't move anything. You can't do anything. Everything's just locked.
gotcha.
Right? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ursula, what we were going to try to do tonight, hopefully Oak 93, once we're done, they can just throw some music in, but we want to make sure we get us a good hour in for the show
Yes,
and
definitely.
grow from, kind of go from there. But what about you, Ursula? I asked everybody about their week. How things going for you so far? Oh, never mind.
It's
Never mind.
been one of those. It's when that old saying, when it rains, it
It
pours.
pours, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
So
I
of
remember you
course,
telling me a little bit about an engine problem.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
paid to get my engine fixed today, right?
Okay.
Okay, I'm happy because I'm like, hey, here it is.
Right.
Make sure it's done when I get back because I'm leaving for the cruise on Monday. I
Right.
said, so it'll be done when I get back. My son will come pick it up and put it back in my driveway. Everything's good.
That ain't happening.
Only he drives down and has to put his car in the shop.
Wow. Wow.
$1,100. But
Wow.
I'm in that space where it's either, dang, I can't believe I gotta spend $1,100, or dang, I'm glad I got it.
Right. I get it. I get it.
You kind of
Yeah.
in that space. So, but other than that, I'm looking forward to this cruise. The Conley Vikings are set sailing on Monday the 28th.
Okay.
We're going to Ocho Rio and Grand Cayman. We'll be gone for a week.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to relax, relate, and release.
I'm gonna leave it right there. Okay. All right. That would definitely work.
But
But do
other
me
than
a
that, I
favor.
think it's a good week coming up. So
Do me a favor if you
sure.
have it. I don't know if you have an older camera around. I mean, an older phone.
Hmm.
If you do, charge that phone and take it with you.
Okay.
The reason why I'm saying that is if it's anything that you've had in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years or less, that would be a good camera to use just for recording some footage
Okay. Okay.
that we can make a show out of it.
I also wanted to make sure that we can all at least have a show where we can at least record a show.
Hmm.
And I was gonna, you know, kind of get some people on the ship and get some
Yeah,
interviews in
yeah,
and things like
yeah. Do
that.
that. Do that.
So I just wish I
All
had
right.
my podcast shirt, but that's another story.
I got you. I got you. Well, I tell you what. I know we want to have an open show tonight and have a few conversations.
Yes.
What I am going to do is one. Anthony mentioned something. I had a question about something. I'll bring that up in a little bit. But Anthony mentioned something I thought would be interesting. Have you heard the conversation that Trina, the rap artist, had when she was talking about money and her husband?
Yes, I
Did
did.
you? You did. Okay, so I'm gonna play it for everybody, and then let's just have a little general conversation about it, how you feel about it, or you might not feel any kind of way about it.
Oh,
So
I feel some type of way about it.
see. Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Did you get a prenup? I didn't. Why not? Because my husband brings all of his money to me. So I'm in charge. He can't spend a dime without my consent. He can't spend a dime for nothing unless it goes through me. That's what I'm talking about. Ring it up, that thing go up. I see everything. That's what I'm talking about. Did you get a prenup?
All right, Ursula, I saw your camera go out, but I think you're still there, correct? She might be on mute. Yeah, she must have been popped out again. Courtney, since you are the only lady here, I could ask for ladies first, or would you rather for us to go? You tell me what your thoughts are.
I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
I have not heard it up until now, and I think that is a very interesting answer that Trina gave. Looking at their lifestyle, they're on a whole nother financial asset than most average people probably are. And secondly, that is very absurd, I would think, to want to take your spouse's whole check and then allowance them out. Each household and each situation with him and her works whatever they want to work with.
This is true.
However it wants to work.
Right.
I've always came from an old school background where majority of main bills are paid by the gentleman and the ladies take care of whatever else may be left, or vice versa.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's too very, very much extreme. And if she's doing that, then what is he doing as far as the household, as far as playing the male role and showing some type of leadership? Because she's taking care of all of that. So it's a few bits and pieces that I'm still trying to put it together, but yeah, that's major.
And from my understanding, I can play it again, but I think she said he brings his check home and give it to her.
That's exactly what she said.
And then she allowance him out to what she wants him to have.
Right. All right, Ursula, you go, and then we'll chime in because the guys may have a different opinion. What's your thoughts?
So me personally, she was very out of pocket for that. The whole interview that she did on that aspect alone was out of pocket. And I say that because you cannot disrespect your husband like that. Now I get it. Trina has this persona and her motto, she's the baddest bee. We get it. We get that's your motto. Okay. But there's Trina the artist, and there should be Trina the wife.
Right.
And to tell everyone that your husband brings his whole check home to you and that he doesn't spend anything without your approval and you give him what you want him to have.
Right.
You emasculate him immediately.
Right.
Now, I've heard a couple of interviewers say, he could be head of the household. He could be, a strong male figure. He could be, a stand-up guy. However, the way she portrayed him to the public diminishes his masculinity. That's just my opinion.
I got you. All right. Who want Anthony or Lamont? Which one of you? Do you have an opinion?
Yes.
Lamont said yes. Go ahead. What's your thoughts?
As they said, I think that what works in everybody's household is what works in your household. And in some cases, everything doesn't need to be broadcasted. I know
Exactly.
folks that have one bank account, all the money goes in there, then they divvy out, and then they have their individuals that they move money out into. I know folks that, hey, she got her account, he got his account, and they got a joint account that they put a certain amount in. So it's whatever works for your household. You can't discount that. But I do think, as I said, that she did kind of emasculate him. But I think that she brought up another thing is they're in a totally different tax bracket than what we are in. So, it goes back down to her persona of what she has to portray, and then there's also that double standard. If a man had said that, all the women would have been all up in arms that she made that and the other. So, it goes down to there's a lot of things that's okay if a woman says it, but if a man says it, it's going to be the end of the world because, and it's just one of those things where, hey, he might be running things, whatever, for all we know, and that's just her outside persona that she's keeping up appearances for. So we don't know whether that's the truth or not. But to say that he has to get permission, now in her mind, that permission might be he has to get permission before he goes to buy a car. That's a major purchase. But the way she laid out to be is that he got to get her permission to go pack a pack of gum. That's the way she put it out there when that might not be what it means. But and I get what she might have been trying to say. Hey, he has got to give my permission to go before he goes out and buys anything major. But stuff that's major to us is minor to them. Is a drop in the bucket. So, that's the other thing we got to look at, that not everything is as it seems. And hey, as far as I'm concerned, she was playing her persona. And hey, maybe if she makes more money than he does, because I don't know what he does, that
Mm-hmm.
okay, maybe she does do the majority of the bills, and she's just like, you know what, let's put all your money here, and whatever it is, if you want it, either I'll get it or whatever. I can tell you for a fact that typically with my wife, that if she knows I want something, as long as the bills aren't going lacking and it's within a certain amount, okay, you finally go get it. Or if I say, hey, I'm going to go get this in a certain amount of time, that okay, well, hold off, just wait a moment, get it, give me a week, let's take care of this first, and then get it. So what works in their household, that might be what works in their household, and like I said, but to me, I feel like that was her persona doing all the talking. That she kept that persona that might not be how it is.
Gotcha,
Exactly.
gotcha. Hollywood, what you thinking?
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, she has a problem, but not a problem for as her. She is dealing with a problem because something is wrong with him, and that means that something, either he can't manage it, and that's the reason why she's taking control. Because I actually had a friend, it was the exact same scenario, but knowing him, he was really not that responsible with his money. Maybe she got with him, and after she got with him, she realized he can't manage it. Maybe he could have been okay with that. I still don't think she should have did it the way she did it, for letting everybody know. Or it could be a controlling thing for her. So to be honest with you, she's not dealing with an alpha male. And the crazy thing is, somewhere down the line, she probably dropping for alpha eventually, because she still had to really be the responsible one out of the relationship. 'Cause obviously, he's not.
Yeah.
He's definitely not a leader. If he give her the money, he's not a leader.
Gotcha.
I think her
Um,
persona is what her ego is why she went on the show. She wants everybody to think that the Trina that we see, that nobody messes with, is the Trina that she is in the marriage. And I don't believe that. And if that is the case, you're right, Hollywood. He's not an alpha male. And when you have someone like a woman like that with a strong ego that pretty much runs you, it's only a matter of time
Yep. Because
before.
at the end of the day, I think as a woman, she still want a man not to just pay the bills, that's responsible enough to handle it all. I know she still wants that, but I think she has one that something's not right with him. But
Yeah,
obviously because he giving it up, so we already know he ain't right.
yeah, something
well,
wrong.
I'm gonna say this. I agree with everybody saying in the different ways we're looking at it. One thing that Lamont said, everybody's household is different,
Hmm.
but there's no need for you to go out and tell everybody how things are ran in our household, because that doesn't work. That doesn't work. She sat there and said, "Oh no, he can't spend a dime." She didn't say, "Well, I know that, I might make most of the money or whatever the case may be, any major purchases now, we're going to talk about it and discuss it together." She made it very clear that she won everything.
Mhm.
You know what though? I gotta say this real quick. The guy I know, I'm very close friends with him. He was married twice. And the first time, I think the reason why he was like this because he was a baby of the family, and his mother wasn't never married, and so his mother really was, still treating him like a baby even after he got grown. He got married, moved to the house with her, and she still had to take on the type of roles that the mother did because he just wasn't that type of guy because his
Mm-hmm.
mother always took care of everything. So I remember then during that time, he would say that he'll give his wife the money. She give him like they were voluntarily doing it. But then when he got with the second wife, I seen her take money out of his pocket, like pat him down, take money out of his pocket. So there's a
Oh
problem with
no.
him. He's
Pat him
not
No, yeah.
smart.
down.
See, now that's a problem. Now that's serious problem there
You
because,
Both
correction
women had to
officer.
do
She
it.
no
Both
wife.
women had to do it.
well, I mean, like you said, even if let's say that he had an issue and a problem, that when he get $400-500, he ain't coming back home with no more than about $30. He just spend money. Hey, he's got a problem, and I get that. So they might have to work on it, but you don't have to tell everybody this is how you do this because like Lamont said, imagine, let's reverse it and say that it was gosh, what's my man name? A singer. I can't think of his name. With the bald head, he's been married a few times. And Tyrese.
Mhm.
If Tyrese had come up there on the radio show and they was like, "Hey, I know you're married now. Did you get your prenup, from your wife?" And he'd been like, "Oh no, but she can't spend a dime unless she called to me first." Man, that phone would have been ringing off the hook.
Leave him. He ain't no good. He
You would
controlling.
have
He this.
saw the comments for days.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that was interesting to me is the young lady that was interviewing her to my girl. I know that's right.
High fived her. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
But
if
you know what? I got to say this real quick. The strangest thing about this dude is this how you know how everyone don't have everything. When it comes to like really defending her in public and dudes like I seen this dude. He was shorter than what she was. I seen this like one night was at this club and these two guys like pushed up on his wife. This dude is not scared of nobody. Like, but then the alpha comes out. Like he's not scared of nobody when it comes to his woman. Nobody. But on the other end, he's not an alpha.
Yeah.
well, see
But
now, here's the thing. Go ahead. Were you about to say something, Lamont?
yeah, that goes back to he's easygoing. In some
Right.
cases, it's a matter of, hey, okay, that's what you want, baby. Okay, I'm cool. So, and it's just a matter of, it's one of the things I've always told people. Different people do different things. That's just like you can be with, and I'm using this example. You could be with, one guy may bring home flowers every day. Another guy may come home, smack his wife on the behind as he goes by. He's still showing he loves her, but that's his way. Or no
Right.
different than if a
Right.
woman cooks.
Right.
There's some women that'll cook and they'll make your plate and bring it to the table.
Right.
Next
Mm-hmm.
woman might be like, I cooked it, you make your own darn plate, you know.
Yeah.
So if he's easygoing, that's just his personality. But like you said, but when somebody pushes him, his kids, his wife, or whatever, then that's when he's gonna become the lion.
Right.
But
Right.
otherwise he's just like, okay, whatever, it ain't worth it until you keep prodding and pushing him. So that's how some people are.
And I get that because now I can be that way. I'm easy going. I ain't got no problem with what you want to do. That's cool. Because if I don't have a desire to go do something different, I'm cool with it. But now if I really want to do something different, I'm gonna say, babe, I don't know about that. Let's do this over here. Let's do that. I don't mind saying that and going that direction. Now, when I feel like someone is getting to the point they're trying to be a little abusive with it or doing too much, I'll cut it off. Now, I've seen some guys like that too, that they're easy going, but then you be like, well, what happened to so and so? No, she was doing too much. He'll let something go quick. I know two guys like that. They're easy going, and people think they're pushover, but they'll leave your behind dry and quick because they don't have time for the headaches. And
That's
then
true.
you got some guys that they all rah 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 this that and the other, but they begging their woman to stay all the time. So in public, he's showing one thing, but at home he's something different.
And I think that's a lot of that because it's all in the image of things nowadays. And a lot of people are really putting a good front. But little do you know what they do when they get behind those doors. So I think the main motto is start out how you hold out. If you're going to start out a certain way, make sure you can maintain that. Yeah,
Right.
things change, but just be up and honest. Because I think that's where a lot of issues come into play because you're trying to impress one another and you can't maintain what you're trying to impress.
But let's look on the flip side.
With me, I have and me and Houston have known each other for years now, well over 21 years because my son is 21. So I'm very easygoing. It takes a lot to piss me off. However, once you piss me off, there's no I'm just a little pissed off. It's all the way, especially when it comes to, at the time, my husband, my children, my family, that is where I draw the line. And people look at me like, I've never seen you act that way before. You've never been on the wrong side of me before. So I get it, like Hollywood was saying. I mean, like Lamont was saying, he may be this dude, with everybody until people cross his woman.
Right. His woman, his kids, his family.
Yeah. Different person. But yeah, again, I just think that regardless of how they run their household, doesn't matter. I think she was just still completely out of pocket for how she portrayed him to everybody.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not saying she was right. I'm just saying is that there are some folks that I don't care what you think or what you say. I know otherwise, or I'm securing myself that I don't have to. Everybody doesn't have to know what I do or know what I do. Just like different than people. There's some people that donate that, hey, you will never know they donated anything. And then there are those that as soon as they do something simple and they're donating and helping somebody, they got to post it everywhere, let everybody know. So some people are securing themselves that he's just like, you know what? That's how she portrayed herself. That's it. You know what? I ain't got nothing to say. That's her persona. That's how many times have we seen stuff, TV movies or whatever, where they're talking about they'll have somebody who's a regular person and they'll have somebody who's famous, and they'll explain to them, hey, look, this is my persona. I apologize in advance because this is my business. This is my name. How they have to portray themselves. And their spouse or partner knows that, okay, that's how they do it. I don't need to say something. And a lot of people, there are a lot of guys out there that, like Houston said, hey, they'll drop something in a heartbeat, or for that matter, you know what? I'll address this when we get home. I don't even need to act up and say anything out here in public. I'll take care of it when we get home.
Now we can sit here, we could talk about, how she, talked about him, but what we don't know is his reaction once he saw it and how he addressed her, behind closed doors when they did get home. He could have, he could have been like the average man. I'm like, who are you talking to? Why in the world, you talking about me in public like that? He could have really checked her at home. We'll never know, because I'm pretty sure being her persona, she's never going to say, man, my husband was really mad about what I said. She's not going to tell us that.
Right. She's not going to tell us that too. Like, kind of like what Lamont was saying too. We don't know, how the dynamics really are. Because she may easily he might be putting his check in the bank. And then, she's like, hey, $5,000 a week, babe, is yours to do whatever you want to do with. But anything above that, any of us might be satisfied for $5,000 a week. I'm good.
Yeah.
They might be fine with that. To me,
Houston,
I don't
you
care.
Good, you can say what you. So Houston, you good? You can say what you want to outside the house because otherwise.
No, you can't. You still ain't gonna be able to say what you want outside the house. I'm just saying, inside the house, if $5,000 a week is what I got to spend, the lifestyle I have now, I should be okay. Now, the lifestyle they're living, let's say $5,000 a week might be kind of a tight stretch for them, because I don't know what their lifestyle is. Some people make $15,000, $20,000 a week. But to where I am, that would make sense for me. And we all say that. You talk about if we had a chance with Janet Jackson and she really was crazy about me and the whole nine, shoot. The old me would be like, I ain't saying a word. Me and Janet, we good. She could do what she want because You know, I'm gonna get to fly, go do this, that, and the other, and I go wake up in the morning and Janet Jackson over here. We all say that until that happens,
Yep.
and then when she start being controlling, we just looking at her like another woman. At the end of the day, after a certain period of time, and it's the same with women. Women, you know, might be a little bit off the subject, but you know how women say they want this tall, dark, and handsome, and great looking guy. He physique look wise, but after a while, that gets old where he ain't taking no trash out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that gets old when he ain't even. Well, daggone, I ain't got no gas in the car. You've been driving the car and then putting no gas in it. That those good looks, all that stuff don't really mean much of anything when it gets to that point. You know, so for a man, no, I think most men are gonna have a problem with her saying that. And from what I'm looking, people are giving her a hard time about it too.
Yeah.
They're giving her a hard time.
Hey, you know what? I want to say, there's a lady a few years ago that I met on a dating site, and she explained to me she went through a divorce, and she ended up getting a foreclosure on the house because she thought her husband was paying the mortgage, and he wasn't.
Right.
So when she found it out, I'm not sure that's the main reason why she divorced, but either way, they're divorced. So she asked me at the time, am I okay with having a joint bank account? And I'm not okay with that. Well, not necessarily, but and I think that after talking with her, she wanted to make sure that she could control and either see what's going on. Now, what do you guys think about that?
I I don't think finances in a marriage should be separate. Now I think, you know, the way I would do it now, which is be differently, I would everybody's check should go to one bank account.
Right.
And once you pay all the bills, and I mean the bills, the credit card, the groceries, you know, all the things that you need to pay to your household to run on a monthly basis, what's left, and that includes put some in the savings account, and what's left should be, if it's $500 left, okay, babe, you got 150, I got 150, and we'll leave the rest of it just sitting there. Or whatever's left, after you put some in the savings account, split it up between the two of you. But when you feel like I made this money and you don't need access to it, my question is, well, if that's the case, why are you even married?
Right. Right. But once again, everybody's household is slightly different. But I
Very
understand what you're
different.
saying. You know, I
Very
definitely
different.
understand what you're saying. I think you definitely need to know what's going on, and having some
Mhm.
sort of joint account that a bulk of the money goes into to take care of things. Um, to me, seem like it works best. Um, and I've seen it different ways. I've seen it where the husband takes a bulk of money and he puts it in an account, and the wife takes care of the bills and stuff.
Mhm.
You know,
I
so
think it's different if you're doing it as a responsibility, but if you're doing it as control, then
Yeah.
I feel different about it.
yeah.
I,
Now, if you're doing it as a control thing, there's going to be a problem.
I had to learn that in my household, I took care of the bills,
Hmm.
because when we was in a situation financially, I'm the one. I was better at make stretching things and making it cover everything. He
Right,
got frustrated because he wants everything to be done meticulously, but we didn't have the finances to do it that way.
right.
And so my strong suit was making sure everything got taken care of, be it with the payment arrangement, with moving this over here, taking care of this first, and doing this second. That was my strong suit. But I think that with him, I mean, like now, it was more or less. um I think going forward, if you're in a marriage and you have these monthly bills, everybody should have access to the login for the account.
Right, right,
So I
right.
don't think the wife should be like, well, baby, the electric bill for some reason is like $500 this month. What? $500? Okay, and you go, he gives her the money to go pay it, and the bill is 275, and she take the rest of it to herself,
I get it. I get it.
or
I
like for
think,
like
like you said, I
Halloween.
think, I really believe, like you said, that it needs to be a little open to know what's
Hmm.
going on. Now, I will say this. I think things work differently now as you get older
Mm-hmm.
than when you were younger. And the reason why I say that is because the 45, I ain't 45 now, but the 45 to 55-year-old Houston, and the same with my wife, when we're meeting older in life, she got a certain way that she wants to do things. I've got a certain way I want to do things. And then we have to figure out how to compromise and then understand that, yeah, we do need to put some money together. But at the same time, there's certain things that she needs to do outside of me, which may be something with her mom, or if she wants to get her hair done, certain things you're going to have accounts for. But it takes a little practice and work to blend together when you've been doing it separate for so long. It takes a little work. It takes a little work. But that conversation has to be open. And the reason why I say that is I hear a lot of people say that we know that 50% of marriages end in divorce. Um, so when all the money is in a joint bank account together, I heard a lot of people say how one of the spouses found out that either one was cheating or one is planning to leave, go clean the bank account out.
Mm-hmm.
And they might have had 25, 30, $40,000 sitting in there as a joint account together, but one person can go in there and just take it all.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't get that back unless the person has filed for divorce and then went and got the money out. Then there's a legal
Well,
thing to it. But
well, and I think that in that case, having a joint account, then if it's over a certain amount, then it needs two signatures.
right, if you're gonna pull a certain amount out, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
but those are grown folks conversations, and you're right.
yeah. It,
There's
it to
because
me, to me, it's just as simple as being trustworthy. So I don't know if you guys watch, reality TV, but and I really don't like this person. Her name is Portia Williams. She's on the
right,
Real Housewives of whichever city she's
right,
in now, Atlanta, I
right,
think. But she married the CEO tycoon. Okay, wealthy man,
right.
and 465 days. I said 465 days is how long she planned her divorce,
Mm-hmm.
to where she got the house for a little while, and then she could possibly get 100 million, all because she
See,
circumvented somehow the prenup.
Mm-hmm.
that's why a lot of these celebrities, men, they don't want to get married no more because of women are taking
Exactly.
advantage of that stuff.
Right,
I,
right,
I, I believe, and I think it's because, but then I believe there's a cycle that we're stuck in, that nobody can get off this hamster wheel. Well, some of them can't get off this hamster wheel. You have these celebrity men. I'm going to use men. I know it happens to women too. I'm going to use men. These celebrity men who want this certain type of look on their arm,
mm-hmm.
or this woman who has a certain kind of clout on their arm. So they go after these women, or these women go after them, and they select them, and then they marry them. And then the whole time, this particular woman has her sights on his money instead of him.
Right,
So now she goes in, she manipulates, does what she needs to do, then divorces, gets money to set herself up for the rest of her life. And then what you have is a certified gold digger who, not just because she got her own money now, don't mean she's gonna go and try to do it to somebody else. But now this man who's probably a good dude in the beginning, now pretty much hates women. So now he's turned into uh what, I don't want to say the word dog, but he's turned into a user, because now he doesn't want anything real. He just wants the physical.
right,
And
right,
the next person he comes across might be a good girl. But then he dogs her, and she's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna trust anybody. So from now on, I'm all about the money. Then she turns into the woman that he had the first time, because she got played emotionally. Now she wants to play financially. It's like a serious circle that every damaged human being being damages the next person, and it's an ongoing cycle.
I get it. I get it. Did somebody about to say something? If not, Anthony, do you want to tell me a little bit about this second video that we have? I was going to play it, but I didn't know what it was about. Or you want me to
Yes.
just play it?
So yeah, so this viral sensation girl, she's pretty big right now. She's young. She has a huge following. Her name is Peaches McIntyre, and she basically on the video was telling people that uh, she got an $80,000 check from social media for that month, and she said that she's okay with him. Huh?
You were feeding back somehow, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, she had what she was talking about that I almost forgot. Oh yeah, about her having an $80,000 check, and it was okay for him to stay home and watch the kids while she make the money.
Okay, let me play this video. I'm gonna not the video, but you guys will be able to hear
It
it.
sound
Okay.
right.
Let me see.
$80,000 check coming. How much would you give your stay-at-home husband? I mean, he watched the kids while you worked for the money. What would you give him? Comment down below.
So
He'll
she's
stay
going
at home
viral for
husband.
that. She going viral for that. So she just asked
No,
the
no, she
question.
always been viral.
She's
But
been
she get a lot of
viral.
backlash to that though.
Okay, so this was just okay. So this just a question that she asked.
Right.
If you got an $80,000 check, how much should you give your stay-at-home husband?
Why am
Why
I
he stay at home watch
giving?
the kids?
Why am I giving him anything?
Cause he'll stay at home husband.
He's a
Explain.
stay-at-home dad, and mind you, Peaches gambles a lot. Social media is her full-time incoming job.
Yep.
He leaves her every other week.
Oh yeah,
Go
they
be with
got
someone
drama
else.
all the time.
So it's a constant battle with them.
But you know what? Then that's not her check. That's their check.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
Basically, yeah, because he's 9 times out of 10 her storyline. So yeah.
So, but my question is, if you getting a $80,000 check, why are you having to give him anything? If y'all are married, well, that goes back to the first situation. If you're married, then that should be for the household.
Well, now let's say this. Let's say that
You leave
I'm
her
gonna play.
every other week to go be with somebody else. Then in her mindset,
Oh, wait a minute. When you say she leaves every other week, you mean she leave or he leaves? You mean he leaves and
leaves her every
go
other
be with
week.
somebody else?
He
Yeah,
comes
this
back
video
when
of them
he
breaking
wants.
up and getting a divorce. They got drama.
What's
Yeah.
her name
That's why he'll
again?
stay at home husband.
Peaches.
I ain't never heard of them.
Peaches.
Look
What
her
now?
on TikTok.
McIntyre.
Yeah. So she has an estranged relationship with her mom. She's been through that whole ordeal on social media. She does a lot of different stunts. Like I said, she gambled a lot of her money away. I think she has like 10 kids now altogether.
Ooh.
They're like stepping stool with.
Oh yeah, she need to get him some money because that's all of them his.
As far as he know.
Think so. I think maybe her oldest two. I'm not for sure.
They can't be.
And that was on. I'm gonna have to get you guys to put that in the comments or in
no
my
sir.
group chat.
No sir. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see y'all her page, but yeah.
No sir.
Yeah, my thing is this. Like she said, first of all, if she got to say how much should I give him, if let's reverse it, if a man is making $80,000 a month himself, and he came on and said, "Well, how much should I give my stay-at-home wife?" It'd have been a conversation. They'd be like, "Wait a minute."
No, you don't need to be. I should have access to it.
What you're saying is morally right, but in her instance, though, what would you do if y'all was drama and you making all the money, he just stay home and just sleep?
Oh well, see, now if he's part of my storyline and that's how I'm making my money, then it's our check.
Right.
But if he just happens to be a consequence of the income that I'm making or the following that I have, if he's just a consequence because he's there, then yeah, I mean she should meet his needs.
Well,
maybe
still, yeah. Go ahead, Lamont.
also maybe I'm looking at this from the other way. I don't. To me, honestly, I don't see the 80,000 as that. I mean, 40, 50. That's if you talking about she was making 60. You're saying 80,000 a year, or is that what she makes in a month?
In a
That's how
month.
much you got that month. I didn't check one check.
Okay. So she is making six figures. So, like she said, I see that as okay. He's technically, if he's part of the storyline, then technically he's an employee of the show.
Yeah,
So I mean,
and he
so
should
if you
be
look at it like that,
entitled.
then I don't think it's a matter of and if is she married to him or just dating him?
That I don't
She
know.
married. I think they're
Yeah,
married.
she's married.
So I think it's just a matter of he should have access to it, or if she's the one bringing it in, that he should have somewhat, I guess you say, of an allowance per se. Hey,
Yeah,
this is how much,
if she's making 80, if she's making 80, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say he should be getting at least 20.
I agree with that.
Because
Yeah.
not only are, I mean, I know it's your following, but in order for you to be making the money that you make, I have to be here taking care of all the kids.
Right. I guess it
That's
was her point.
that
That was her
that's
point.
the only way that you're able to
She's
do
the
what you
breadwinner.
do.
Right.
So I'm gonna pose a question kind of similar.
That's almost $1
So
million.
I
Well, it
believe, and
says
this
she's
is this
six
is
figures according to what I googled,
It's almost okay. Well, she do that.
but
She do that 12 months. That's almost $1 million.
But she just said this particular month. So let's just say she get 30. Because 80's, well, for her to even ask that question, 80 might not be her normal month.
yeah.
Right.
So let's just say she get 30,000 a month, which is still great money.
Yeah. Then she should be giving him at least 10 or 5.
He probably get that money and
Well,
be gone.
look, I'm about to say why is there a figure on it when they should have it in the same joint bank account?
That was
From
my
what you
whole
were
point
saying.
from the beginning.
I got you.
Just
Look,
like I've said that if my husband goes to school and he goes to school and he gets a degree and he starts making way more money than he was making before,
mhm.
then there is no way that this person shouldn't that income should not benefit me if I'm still taking care of the household. If the reason why you're able to go to school is because I'm taking care of all the kids, you don't have to worry about picking anybody up from school, about picking anybody up from practice, about cooking dinner. If I'm handling and I'm holding all of that down just so that you can be free to go to school and then you get your degree, you could not have done that without me.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but we see that happen all the time on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
There should be a law and a rule against it, or a way for that to work out. Because I've heard stories of a lot of men that say, "Hey, while I was working 2 jobs, she went and got her nursing degree,"
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking that it's going to benefit us when she finally gets her nursing degree, and when she graduates, she goes start working 6 months later. She wants a divorce, and I'm out. And that's just that chance that you take.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it doesn't turn out that way, but it does an awful lot.
It does. It
And
does.
that's the same with men, because I know some women that have worked 2 jobs while the husband is finishing his degree in accounting or
Mm-hmm.
being a dentist or whatever the case is, and then he moves on.
Yep.
And a lot of times he was ready to move on before he moved on. He was just trying to get
Exactly.
himself together.
But and I think that's the deception, because if that was the case, if you wanted to move on, you would have moved on. But you stayed because it benefited you. And I
Right.
believe that's where the deception part is.
Yeah, I mean, deception, either way you look at it, is deception. Some people have affairs for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It was deception from the beginning.
Exactly.
Hollywood, I'm gonna put you on mute. I think that might be you.
Okay. I mute my mic. I mute it.
I got you. Okay, so that was the second one. Any topic that you guys want? Anything else you guys want to talk about? Because I'm gonna find something else. But I think the the subjects that we've talked about tonight are really interesting ones. But if anybody got anything on the table, let me know what your thoughts are. If you have anything in mind, Courtney, or not just yet.
Not just yet.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I'm
I
gonna say
got
Okay.
something.
this, Houston.
What's that?
I got something.
Go ahead.
But it's sort of like a statement. You know, being that nowadays women make so much money, it kind of, it really kind of hurts the family dynamic between men and women, because if she makes more money than him, depending on her mindset, um, people, you know, a person can look at it as, I am the main provider, I am the one, um, and it can really, I think nowadays it's like a power struggle when you add the money into it, and then you have the relationship. Hey, it's supposed to be, if you take everything away, what do you have? That's about the only thing I ever heard Jada Pinkett Smith say that made any sense. You put me and Will on the island, what do we have? And but I just think that do y'all think that it kind of destroys or just hurt relationships when women make more money
No,
most of the time
it,
nowadays?
everything that we talk about, be it relationships, finances, politics, when it comes down, it's about the person. If you have a woman who is who's loyal, who's faithful, she respects herself, she respects her spouse, her family. It don't matter how much money she makes, she's gonna always be a respectful person.
Right, but I mean, like the going. I mean, I feel like things are different
Yeah,
overall.
but it no,
I
I
feel
don't
like there's
think
always
things are
a power
different.
struggle.
I think that it's more open now because you have social media, and now you have these women who don't necessarily hide behind that persona anymore of being a particular kind of way. I think that they um what you get is what you get. They've been hiding behind a certain thing for so long. They didn't have anything. So when they feel like they finally have power, the and I think that it rears its ugly head because now they want to be in charge. So I'll tell you an experience that I had. So me and my husband, when we were together, we went out one night, and he had, he, of course, he had money. He had his own checking account, and I had my checking account. Something had come through on his checking account, and when he went to pay for dinner, he went because he went to check. He checked his account, made sure he had enough, and something had came through and took the money. Something that unexpected,
Right.
and instead of me, like most women, like, I can't believe you can't pay the bill. What is wrong with you? No, I slid in my credit card because there's nothing worse than emasculating somebody who is done nothing more than be a husband or be a wife. What's mine is mine. There's nothing wrong with me paying for dinner. There's nothing wrong with me footing the bill for something, not because he's not man enough to take care of it, but we all go through situations where something unexpected happened, you know. And so when you have these women who want to hold the fact that they make more money over their man's head, it just shows like their character, not his. To me, that's just my opinion.
I get it. I get it. This day and age, we're a little old school.
Yeah. Oh
And
God, you made that sound so old when you said that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and it is old. We're old school.
I'm
Uh,
not.
but see, yeah, yeah, you are. Because everything you just said is old school. There's a few young people. I think Courtney. There's some other people that, hey, yeah, they're gonna ride or die unless that man start doing something crazy. Uh,
Exactly.
they're gonna be there for their man. We're gonna work together and try to grow. But there's some that they know they're really not interested in that man from the get go. They just want to go out for a nice dinner, concert, movie, festival, or play. And as long as he's covering the bill, they're good to go. But if he can't, then they're not even interested in going. They're not interested in going to a park. A lot of women are kind of saying that now, but I think that's changing some now because a lot of guys aren't even asking them out anymore.
No.
Well,
They're
what is
not.
this
They're not.
new
They're not
trend?
asking them out. They're not asking women out. They're not interested in asking them out. They're gonna go work. They're gonna come home and play and watch the game. And then they're gonna play their video game, and then they're good.
Well, what's this trend about these women on first dates having to go to Ruth Chris or, some $200 meal restaurant
Because they weren't
or
interested in the person in the beginning. They were interested in the experience.
And
They
what
weren't.
exactly.
that could do for them.
Yeah. They're not interested in getting to know that person. They're getting to go. They're getting interested in being able to go to a restaurant they haven't been to before, or one that they know they can go get a nice meal, and the atmosphere is beautiful, and they're gonna pull their phone out and take a picture of the meal and the surrounding, but you never get to see who they were on the date with.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I see that a lot.
and then too, sometimes some women do it as a way of saying, I'm all this. In order for you to do something with me, you have to. That's my standard. For
Right.
nice
But
restaurant.
here's the thing that's interesting to me with that whole standard thing. I see you out at Ruth Chris with a guy and enjoying, but when it's a girls' night out, I don't see y'all at Ruth Chris.
They have Fridays.
I mean, they go somewhere that's reasonable and it's going to be nice, and they may end up spending $60 on their meal, but
But
they're
I
not
feel most
spending
of
what they're expecting a guy to spend on a date.
right.
Go ahead. I thought you were saying something, Hollywood.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say most of the time, women that have the money, because I've seen women, with some nice restaurants, but usually the ones that demand to go to those restaurants, usually are the ones that really don't go. They can't afford it. Here's the women that they don't make a big deal out of it if they got the money or if they make it. They don't really make a big deal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get this. Don't get me wrong. I understand a certain part of it. There's some women, I'm not sure who's echoing real bad. It could be me. Um, I understand if you went to school, you sacrificed, you stayed up late night, and you did all this stuff, and you finally got this great job that's paying you 45, 50, 60, $70 an hour, or whatever the case may be, or your salary may be 100,000 a year. Because when you buy yourself 100,000 a year, you're doing good. There's nothing wrong with it. You're doing decent. Um, but what I'm noticing is when you get yourself to a certain level, you want to have nicer things.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have nicer clothes. You want to have a nicer purse. You want a Lexus or Mercedes or BMW, whatever kind of car you want, and you don't want to come down.
What's the problem? I mean,
And there's nothing wrong with that. So I understand that part is what I'm saying. I understand it.
so I get it, and I'm a person who I'm into cars. Okay, anybody knows me. I don't like luxury. I mean, I don't say I don't like them. I'm not into luxury cars. I'm into sport cars. Right. So if a guy wants to take me out, and let's just say, he has a car. He has a nice car. It could be, I don't even do luxury cars. So Lexus, Mercedes, or whatever. Or he can have a Honda Accord, nice Honda Accord. If if I want to be and I feel a certain type of way when I get dressed up and get in my car. So if you're not feeling what he's driving and you got your own, because these girls who are turning down these guys who have Honda Accords, Genesis, Lexus, they're not the Range Rovers and all that stuff, but you walking.
Right. Well,
You got a hoopty that you don't even know if gonna start when you go in the driveway, but you want
right.
to dictate what he drives. So if a guy comes up and he has a car and I like him, and let's just say his car, he's like, look, my car's acting up or whatever. I say, cool, we can take mine.
Well, Ursula,
What, Houston?
you know what I'm gonna say. We talking about these women today. What you're saying is true though. I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, like
I,
I'm
I
washed up.
no. The
Women
reason why I
today.
say that But no, it's not a matter of me saying that you're washed up. What I'm saying is we're always talking about, we're not talking about the ones that are doing the right thing like you're doing and have that mindset that you have. We're talking about the ones that do not have your mindset, and it's more of them than they are of you. So to me,
But it's
it's like,
us. It's us who are raising those particular girls. It's the people our age who have these 20-year-old daughters out here, or
right.
30-year-old daughters who are out here doing this crap. But you didn't do that growing up.
But
You didn't
most of
do
them
that when
did,
you were
you know,
dating.
but most of them did. Most of them did. And then they got to the point where they're not reciprocating that anymore. As we get older, the certain guys aren't going for that. They're not trying to date. They're not trying to date the decent woman. They're trying to date somebody that want to look this way and that way.
The Instagram models.
They're
But
trying
see,
to date the Instagram model. Right.
that's that cycle I was talking about
I get
earlier.
it. I get it. I get it. And so that's what we're trying to tell as men. As we get older, we need to tell these guys, look, look, she bad now. She bad. I know what you mean. But if you want to ride that bike, that's fine. But don't purchase that bike, because that bike is gonna break you. That ain't really what you want. That's not marriage material. We need to tell more guys that, look, that ain't marriage material now. She's cute, she pretty, the whole nine. But every time she go to the gas station, every time she go to the mall, everywhere she goes, she's gonna get hit on, hit on, hit on, hit on. And you don't want that kind of headache. Women don't understand that. Men have to look at that. The finest thing that you're trying to date is not going to be great. The same way when you're trying to date a 6 foot guy that looks a certain way, 6'2", 6'3", and if he looks physique looks great, a lot of women are going to try him all the time. So you're going to have a lot of headaches. So that's still the hamster wheel. So
Well, it,
as we tell the guys, look, you need to do a little better choice with your dating. A lot of the older women aren't telling the younger girls to not do that. You may be telling your daughter, and you might tell some people around you, but there's a lot of women out here that's still trying to do the same thing in their 40s and 50s that they were doing in their 30s.
exactly. Exactly.
You know, so I was talking with somebody earlier, and they said this: if a mother is, let's say the mother is 55, and the daughter can be what, 30? Is that, let's say, 18 years apart, 18 to 20 years apart. So if the mom is 55, the daughter has to be what, 30 something?
Mm-hmm.
They could be looking at the same man when they go to a bar and restaurant.
Yeah.
And I've seen mothers doing that. Instead of just like, let me lay back, they still trying to get the same man their husband, their daughter's trying to get,
Yeah.
and they really gonna try to go for it.
Well, like I won't
Because
with
you know
my
what?
son. My son's dating. I would never tell him who to date
Mm-hmm.
because that's not my life to live. I had my choices. I did my own thing. When you try to tell somebody who they should be with, then that's who you're choosing for that person, not
Well,
that person is choosing. Now, wait, you can give your opinion, and
yeah, yeah,
I tell my kids, I'm gonna give you my opinion about that person based on how they treat you,
right,
not what they have or what they don't have, but about how they treat you, because I don't want to make their decision for them. I'm not going to date that person. I'm not going to marry him. I'm not going to have kids with him. You
right,
are.
right. I
But
get
to
it.
say you shouldn't date this person, or this person is not the best thing for you, not say I don't I wouldn't say that. Most parents might say that. I wouldn't say it because that's my opinion.
But
Now I say, well,
then,
I got some reservations,
right.
but
But then
as
you
long as
just
that.
say that. But that's your opinion. You just say, look, if they ask you, Mom, what you think about so and so,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to tell her the truth and go like, well, I don't know now. Have you thought
Yeah,
about this?
I would
Have you
I would
thought
tell
about
them the
that?
truth, but I would always say, but baby, that's my opinion.
Right.
But
I get it.
I've made decisions to choose people who weren't the best fit for me.
Right.
So even though I'm older, I can give you my opinion, but I'm not going to choose who I think is best for you, because who I think is best might not be the best person for you in the end. And then it's on me.
Okay, I get it.
I've
I
seen
get it.
I've seen people who pick people for their children who that person end up either leaving, cheating, abusing, you know, or
I mean, I
whatever.
get it. I get it. I get it.
But that's just my opinion.
Hollywood or Lamont. I didn't know if you
Okay.
had. I didn't know if you had an opinion or not.
I can agree with what she said about picking folks, because I think social media has a lot to do with a lot of the things, and people want a particular person on their arm. That I think a lot of times folks aren't raised a certain way, but social media makes them want to see. They don't see all the hard work that people put into it and all the struggling. All they see is the final product, and they
Right.
think, oh, that look easy.
I
You
got you.
know, that's just like teaching somebody how to do something. For example, I'm into photography, you're into photography. I see a lot of folks that, oh, they just pick the camera up. Soon as next thing you know, they've only had the camera 2 months. They're trying to they asking questions in the group about how do I shoot it? What settings do I use on for a wedding? And they done skipped all of the days of playing around. And if you got to ask that question, that means you're not ready for it. If you got to ask what settings should I use for this?
Right.
And I think
Right.
that goes back to a lot of things in life that a lot of times people will look for that certain look. They don't necessarily go on the personality, or they'll be like, well, she got a horrible personality, but look at that booty,
Yep.
I get it. Yeah.
and a
I
lot of
think when
women
we're
are
younger,
doing the
we
same
do
thing.
that.
They look at the physical and just scratch all over the mentality of the person until, oh, well, you've been with this person now. All the things they used to do, they were still doing, but you can't stand them now.
Right. Right. I get it. I get it. I think this is we're 1 hour and 6 minutes in. Um I think we had a pretty good conversation for the night. Anybody have questions or anything or any comments they want to make? You
We need
good?
to do better. I'm not gonna talk for men. I'm gonna talk for women.
Uh-huh.
But any woman listening, we got to do better, because the whole bitterness with the baby daddies, and um, I just recently heard some guy say something about, if you have a baby with a man and you break up with him, he don't owe you or the child anything.
That's
Y'all a
crazy.
package. You're a package deal. If he's not with you, he ain't with the baby. And I'm like, that cannot be the world that we living in.
Right. Right.
But then you foster the mentality of people like that from having women who manipulate and destroy relationships with between fathers and their children because of their own selfish attitude, that of how they were treated. And I'm like,
Right.
I don't care. When me and my husband split up, we're still friends, right? Never once would I tell my children anything negative about him, because that's my daughter's hero. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah. Yeah.
my experience as a wife is totally different than her experience as a daughter. And
Right.
you break your children when you do stuff like that. You might think it's hurting that person, but if you a true mother, if you truly love your children, there is no way that you're going to sit here and degrade their father or manipulate them into believing things about their father, or even if that stuff is true, you wouldn't break their spirit that way.
Right.
So women, do better. You got to do better.
So let me say this for the men and then we'll wrap it up. Fellas, we got to do something different ourselves. You gonna have to stop lying and manipulating to get what you want from the women, and then drop out when she give you that phone call that she either pregnant or she trying to get more serious with you about something, and you didn't tell her from the get-go that you were really just trying to enjoy the ride. And if you get to the point that you just want to enjoy her as a, hey, look, I know we've been going out a lot, I like you a whole lot, now I don't want to be serious right now, but I still would love to take you out to eat. I still want us to have a good time. And if you want to be physical, be physical. Be honest with them. And then that way everything's okay. And if you know that because sometimes I say this too. Sometimes women would be like, well, I'm good with that. But you can see in their eyes, they still
They're
want
not.
more out of it.
They're not.
Right. They still want more out of it because they hoping.
Mm-hmm.
They hoping that your feelings are going to change or be better for them. They're hoping that God's going to intervene and bring y'all together. And he already know.
And
He already
listen,
know.
just to say what you just said, men just know that you cannot be with a woman for a particular amount of time and think that she's still going to feel that same way of, oh, we just kicking it. She has formed an attachment. And
Yeah.
you're not going to understand the level of attachment she has until she finally sees you with somebody else.
Right. I get it. On that note, did anybody have anything to say? If not, on that note, we're going to call it a night. And we're going to be getting together, the group of us. Lamont, I'm going to have to add you to our Keep It 100 group so we can keep you informed of what we're talking about and conversations. And we're going to kind of grow this thing and add you into some of the conversations where you can join.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thursday, we will still be live. I'll just be remote as we are right now.
Right.
But definitely want to Houston. I'm actually working. We're definitely working on getting together Thanksgiving weekend. Anybody that's in the Greenville area, getting together during the during the Still Got Game tournament down in Greenville, where Houston Incite-tv will be set up. Keeping It 100 will be in the building. Hopefully, Keeping It Connected will be in the building. And we're gonna try to get together there and have a roundtable discussion.
That sounds good. That sounds good. And
Definitely.
Lamont, I'm going to make sure I have a pair of tickets for you and the wife to come to the Still Got Game tournament. Bring your camera. We're going to enjoy the day.
Yes.
All right.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
All right. Have a good one.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.